Welcome to another episode, everyone. KKK member Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, is attacking the victim of the shooting of ICE. The victim. This is their MO. But let's get into it. She's a KKK member. This is I've Had a News with my girl Jennifer Wilson and the other lady here. And they're going to attack these people as they should.
The propaganda and lying coming out of the Trump administration regarding the murder of a U.S. citizen is it's just so stunning that they're so heartless. It shouldn't be, but demeaning the victim is their MO. Here is Caroline KKK Leavitt. The fact that she has the balls to say this is unreal.
Case from the very beginning, and they have had to change their story and their narrative, because at first you heard Democrats, including the mayor of Minneapolis, saying that the car never struck the officer and the lethal force was unjustified. Now, of course, there is plentiful video evidence to show that the officer was struck by the car, that this deranged lunatic woman was trying to ram him over with her vehicle and was using that vehicle as a weapon, which...
Wow. Do you hear this propaganda? You hear these lies? Lady, we seen the video. But this is what they do. The police do the same thing. They kill someone, then cover it up. Say that the person was the aggressor. That lady was not trying to run him over. Renee Nicole Good, rest in peace to her, was not trying to run this individual over. She was trying to get out of harm's way. A mother of three was trying to get out of harm's way and make it home to her children. He shot her down in cold blood. And they spin the narrative. They spin the story. This is what they've been doing. George Floyd died from fentanyl. Let them tell it. You know, they do this all the time, man. Now she's sitting here talking about this deranged lunatic. Damn, the woman's dead. Lost her life. You calling her a deranged lunatic? Tried to run him over and commit murder? Oh my goodness, these people, man. This is who y'all voted for. This is your government.
Justifies domestic terrorism. And unfortunately, we are seeing these instances play out in American communities across the country, where you have these organized, paid antagonists who are part of these groups that are actively, unlawfully impeding lawful law enforcement operations. They are
Okay, enough. So many lies, so much propaganda. To say that the video shows clearly that this deranged lunatic, domestic terrorism, it's absolutely stunning how callous and vile this propaganda is.
It is. And I think I'm going to add a new red flag list. For me, people who voted triple trumped and then were able to go, we have the same homosexual hairdresser in Oklahoma City. And a lot of these women go in to see him and say Trumpian type things in his presence. And I thought, fuck those bitches. And after hearing this woman right here, this pregnant woman who preaches about family values, who preaches about children, who stands on her moral high ground with her Bible and her cross and tries to lecture people all the time. Anybody who watches Fox News, get the fuck out of my life. That is the most cruel propaganda I have ever heard. I want nothing to do with people who watch Fox News for entertainment. That is horrific. It is a moral line for me. This is not a political difference. This is a moral difference. If you can sit there and watch that and listen to the justification of the senseless murder of a legal observer to ICE provocations and ICE Nazi Gestapo style tactics. And then you fucking white bitches can go to your hairdresser and act like you're an ally. Go fuck yourselves all the way off. I am so sick of these people.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. And really, we're about to get into that, actually. You know, many people believe that white liberal women are the problem. I'm about to play that video. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into it. Again, this may not be the channel for some of you because it's gonna be some hard truths over here. You may not want to hear because y'all like to pass the buck and say that everyone else plays the victim. Everyone else is the victim of you people. Shit, everyone is the victim of you. Period. Everyone is the fucking victim of you. Needs to stop though, but everyone is the victim of you. So you don't like to take accountability. So this is probably not going to be the space for you. I'm telling you now. I'm not worried about it. Get out of here. And I agree with Jennifer here. If you watch Fox News and you agree with anything that just came out of Caroline Leavitt's KKK's mouth, then you need to get the hell out of here. Hypocrites. Pushing the Bible, talking about family. She's a mother, a wife. And this mother just lost her life. And you're going to call her a deranged lunatic. These people will kill you, man. They don't care. They have no heart. The men and the women, they'll kill you. Ask Charlie Kirk.
Acting like these are political differences. They are not. This is not a political difference. You're not like us. You can sit and listen to lies and propaganda and you like it. You can see that a mother that has 3 children, that had a black lab in her back car, whose wife was trying to get back in the car, was shot by a pink arm, low T, ice thug that then called her a fucking bitch. Mm-hmm. And you're on their side. You're not like us. This is beyond. And the acceleration of this and their attempts to normalize this.
Y'all got that pink shit going on? She said it, not me. She crazy.
Must be pushed back with everything. And I mean everything in us.
I completely agree. I just wish the people that I could extricate from my life, all the Fox News people, but that would include my parents. So I would be an orphan after that. Okay. And then Trump, who never, ever stands up for Americans or American citizens. When asked about, did he believe deadly force was okay in the situation that occurred in Minnesota, this is his response.
That deadly force was necessary after watching all the footage of the days that passed. What's your assessment there?
It was highly disrespectful of law enforcement. The woman and her friend were highly disrespectful of law enforcement. You saw that. They were harassing them, were following for days and for hours.
No.
And I think, frankly, they're professional agitators.
Okay.
And I'd like to find out.
Highly disrespectful. Now that is a crime because that to me violates the free speech clause in the Constitution. Highly disrespectful and deadly force should never be next door neighbors, in my opinion. And this whole paid agitator thing. Now, are we going to start rounding up Antifa and doing all that? I mean, he cannot justify what this ICE agent did, whether they were paid, not paid, whether they were followed, whether the language was disrespectful. Of course, obviously, we know that it wasn't. But when he says that, what's your take?
This is a thing that the right wing has used for a very, very, very long time. Paid agitators. And they like to, and this is before Trump even, and they like to link it to George Soros, who is a very progressive Jewish billionaire that stands up for human rights, universal human rights. He is one of the very few benevolent billionaires that uses his money for good. And they can't understand it. They cannot understand that somebody would stand up for somebody that they perceive as less than them unless they were getting paid. They cannot understand it. So this resonates and absorbs with the MAGA base because they're like, yeah, why would you stand up for a black person? Well, you'd have to get money to do that. Why would you stand up for this lesbian? Well, you'd have to get paid to do that because these people value money over human beings. So they lie and say, and you and I have each been to a lot of protests, haven't received one paycheck. There's no such structure that exists in these No Kings rallies. There's no payment plan. There's no busing in. And in fact, it's on their side where they paid to bus people in. But really important in this is the reason the Soros stuff sticks and is taken off is because the real anti-Semitism is rooted in the Republican Party. And it is rooted specifically in the big tent of bigots that the MAGA regime has made.
Yes, it has always been rooted in the Republican Party. Anti-Semitic behaviors, just white nationalist, white supremacist behavior, period. It infiltrates and besets the Republican Party, especially now. This MAGA movement, make no mistake about it, is a white nationalist movement. They want the country to be white again, or white and only white. They don't want you here. Even the ones who pretend to be your friend, to pretend to be your ally, they're not.
And the MAGA regime continues to feed these anti-Semitic attacks and tropes on Soros. And this is a very interesting thing that's happening right now, where you have hardcore Zionists that have gone to Donald Trump for refuge and to think that they are safe. And when you look at the people that Elon Musk retweets, all this Nazi shit that he does, it is so hardcore Jew hater anti-Semitism. And so that paid protester thing is something that they have done for a long time, because these people are so morally defunct, so morally inept, they cannot understand that a woman like me or a woman like you would put our hand in hand with a Black woman and say, I stand with her. Her struggle is my struggle, and I will fight and for equality with everything in me. They don't understand that. They can't relate to that. So they think in order for us to have that kind of compassion and to have that kind of empathy and to have that type of conviction, that we would have to be paid, because they would have to be paid. For them, it's transactional.
Right. That's exactly right. In fact, that's a great segue. Kylie, if you'll pop up the last slide. And
it's always been transactional. And again, these white liberals exploit the Black community, and they profit off of the Black experience here in America, off of the Black pain, the Black abuse. They profit from this. They are not our friends or allies. They play a game with us. We're going to get into it. We have to wake up. That's it. We have to wake up, and wake up now.
then we'll come back to the next one. Speaking of...
And Jennifer Welch, I'm going to have to find out this other lady's name. If y'all have our back, then we'll see. That means you're going to have to be willing to die. As many Black people die and have to die, and many more are going to have to die, including myself, I'm sure, in this struggle. You're going to have to be willing to give your life when you say that you're a part of the struggle. Not just hold hands and march and hold signs. That's not going to dismantle white supremacy, unfortunately. White people are going to have to give their lives.
Paying. ICE is spending $8 million on deals with pro-ICE influencers to push its propaganda online. And according to an internal document obtained by the Washington Post, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is carving out $8 million from its $100 million one-year wartime recruitment strategy on funds with pro-ICE influencers. So this is exactly the link you made.
Damn. So pro-ICE influencers here on the internet, they got an $8 million fund to push them out money, to keep pushing out propaganda here on the internet, supporting them, supporting ICE, saying that they're doing their job, doing the right job, everything that they're doing is legal, etc. You know, the Officer Tatums of the world, who keep pushing out this ICE propaganda as if ICE is doing something productive in the communities instead of causing disruption and destruction. He's getting paid to do this, apparently. Him and others. $8 million they have set aside for these individuals. Wow. Sell your soul, you know, you can profit.
They cannot imagine not having to pay, and support or not support has to be transactional. But to be fair, ICE is so vile. The fact that you would take money, even to take money for it, is gross to me. You're just as bad a part of the problem if you're pro-ICE, whether you get paid or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's every MAGA person with a cell phone. You know, I mean, they retweet, they do all the, I mean, of course they'll take money to promote violence. Of course they will whitewash January 6th. Like this is a political party that has really been exposed. This is a political party that was weaponized homophobia and weaponized racism for years and years and years. And now the mask is really, really off. And I cannot emphasize this enough. My differences with MAGA voters are not political. They're moral. They are absolutely moral. What I see this regime doing, the dehumanization, what I've seen when Trump came down the escalator and called immigrants rapists, drug dealers, when he's the one who pardons rapists and drug dealers. From the jump, my disagreements with him and my disagreements with this movement have never, ever been political. My disagreements with John McCain when he ran against Obama, those were political. Those were political differences, nuances in tax policy, nuances in civil liberties, which is a hill I will die on. But this regime and what they do is something that is just far beyond for me. And the only parallel that I have to link this to is Nazi Germany. And I don't have to keep doing that because the administration keeps using and copying Nazi propaganda. They just translate it from German and they're putting it into English and the hoods are off.
The hoods are absolutely
part of what
off.
you want to be able to do is when you see.
What's going on?
You're absolutely right. And one thing I wanted to point out, since we're talking about civil rights, the DOJ has fired and or the people resigned. It's not 100% clear.
Except for Black MAGA. They don't see it. Black MAGA. The hoods have been off, bro. These people hate you. Black MAGA, they hate you. You get it? They don't like you. They don't want you.
Within the DOJ, there is a part of it that is strictly human rights, looking at human rights violation. And so top DOJ officials quit after their division refused to probe Minnesota ICE shooting. So at least 4 of the officials in the DOJ Civil Rights Unit wanted to do a full investigation into whether or not Renee Good's civil rights were violated. And they were told no. And so they quit. And of course, you know, some people in MAGA are saying they were fired, but it doesn't matter. The people with any kind of conscience, with any kind of ability to see things objectively, they have now been removed. They are no longer in their offices. And there we have it. We've just got
pure corruption, of course, pure corruption. Some of them may have quit. Some of them were forced out, pushed out, fired, forced to resign because they could not properly investigate. We already covered this. The shooting, the unjustifiable shooting, the murder of this woman. It's a cover up all the way from the top. They've been covering this stuff up. They covered up the Kennedy murder. They've been covering this stuff up. These people are corrupt. The Gestapo. They think this is Nazi Germany. They do. Trump, fans, and their followers.
The full MAGA, all the lovers, the sycophants, they're still in there. But they would not open an investigation into civil rights violations because in my mind, they don't think Trump is capable of violating civil rights because they don't believe people really have civil rights unless they're part of their movement.
Well, right. And they don't want the truth out.
Well, right.
They have to keep the propaganda going. They don't want a civil rights division at the DOJ.
No.
These people oppose civil rights.
Yes.
The president of the United States just recently said the civil rights movement was very unfair to white people. So any notion that we're going to have a DOJ that has a civil rights division when this administration is white.
Trump is crazy. That dude be saying some crazy. He said the civil rights movement was unfair to white people. Wow. Man. That's deep. These people kill us, man, lynch us, rape us. Wow. And then say that we caused them problems. Wow. Now, I seen some shit yesterday. Wow. And that one hurt right there, hearing that shit, man. I seen some shit yesterday. Where they had human zoos back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. And they had a picture of it. I saw it on Facebook. And of course, it was black people that were in the zoo. These skinny black dudes in the water, and it was just white people. There was a rail right there, and they also called them Negro villages or something, and they came for their entertainment. The same way you'll go to a zoo now and see animals in the zoo, they had black men, black people, as the animals, as for their entertainment in the zoo. And this dude to say that the civil rights movement was unfair to white people. That's what it is, black people. That's what happens. We cut them too much slack. They think they don't take us serious. They think this shit is a game. They think this shit is a game. That's it. They think it's a game. Y'all motherfuckers better be ready to stand up and fight, bro, and lose your life.
Washing at an incredibly obscene rate. All of the black service members from the military, Juneteenth was canceled. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a civil rights division in Nazism? No, that's not going to happen. Of course, their end goal here will be to do away with the civil rights division and the DOJ, and their illegal murder of Renee Good just accelerates that for them.
Absolutely. And I fear that Renee Good will not be the last person as we see all these shootings coming with ICE. And, the response by the administration, we're going to send more people. I think they want a fight to continue. They want the protests to become confrontational and violent because then they feel like they're justified. And then, I take it all the way to the midterm election.
Yeah. I think the one thing that these people didn't calculate because they lack impulse control was in order for this to really turn into the autocracy, oligarchy, dictatorship that they want, they would have moved incrementally. But they're moving at such a rapid speed and there's such a massive backlash. And I think it's going to be a really, and I use this word very cautiously, but I think this ICE stuff is going to get bloodier. Since Renee Good's shooting, they haven't decreased. They have increased. And these people are sharks, demonic sharks. And when there's chum in the water, they just can't get enough of it. As it pertains to ICE agents beating up women, and now they've widened the scope to wine moms that are organized and getting paid and all this crazy shit that's not even believable. To Donald Trump watching the capture of Maduro, who now all of a sudden has imperialistic ambitions. And the chum, when these people, they're like Pavlovian, when they get a little taste for something, it just increases their desire to increase the depravity at such a rapid rate. And the rate in which they're moving, there's such a backlash to it. But I'm hopeful that our midterms stay very localized and that the pouring out that it's too big to rig, that there are so many Americans, like that we have the highest voter turnout that we've ever had, that it is impossible for them to rig it. And they're going to try. They're already starting with, the post office. There's been changes there that are terrible. All the gerrymandering, they're going to do everything they can to try to cheat. But I don't want that to suppress voter turnout because,
That's
listener, you must remember.
We know that. They tried to steal the last election. Trump is not going away easy. They are already making plans to cheat. You better believe it. They want J.D. Vance in office next.
Political races are very localized. And contrary to what Republicans have been saying forever, we really have free and fair elections. And so I hope that all of their voter suppression tactics, that we can create a chorus that people turn out in force. And it must be too big to rig.
No, I completely agree. We have to get everybody out there. All right. We're going to stay on top of this story.
Yes, we're going to stay on top of it. So that's it. Started out with Caroline Leavitt, the KKK White House press secretary who does Trump's bidding, makes all of these, has all of these press conferences, tainting the story, lying, misleading all of the time about every incident that comes out in the country, protecting abusive police, murderers. This is what the administration does. They're white nationalists. They are Nazis. Understand that. If you're with them and you're black, you're stupid. If you're with them and you're white, you're a racist. I said what I said. Stay safe, stay free, and power to the people.